Hi guys, my name is Taisha Rahman, and I'm doing a synopsis on the movie 1987, When the Day Comes. For our agenda for this video, we're going to start off with the movie introduction, followed by the director overview, and then the cast overview, finally the movie synopsis, and last but not the least, closing remarks. 1987, When the Day Comes was released first on December 29th on 2017 in US. In the box office, it hit 54.5 million USD. And for the rating from IMDb, it received 7.7 out of 10. The director was Chang Shun Huang. Chang Shun Huang, who was born in 1970, is 55 years old. Some of his other works are 2001 Imagine, Save the Green Planet, Camellia, and The Running Actress, among others. Chang Shun Huang has won Best Director awards at various prestigious events, including the 2018 Sign 21 Movie Award, the 2003 Sign 21 Movie Award, and the 2018 Director's Cut Awards. His film, 1987, When the Day Comes, won Best Film at the 39th Blue Dragon Film Awards in 2018. 1987, When the Day Comes also received the grand prize Daesung at the 54th Boxing Arts Awards in 2018. Save the Green Planet won Best Film at Bucheon International Fantastic Film Festival. For the cast lineup, we have Kim Yoon-suk as Park Chon-won, a high-ranking officer in the Anti-Communist Investigation Bureau responsible for the cover-up of the student's death, Ha Jung-woo as Choi Hwang, the principal prosecutor who insists on an autopsy for Park Jong-chul, triggering the investigation, Yoo Hae-jin as Han Byuk-yong, a prison guard who secretly passes on information to help expose the truth, Kim Tae-ri as Yoon-hee, a college student and niece of Han Byung-yong, who becomes increasingly involved in the democratic movement, Park Hee-sun as reporter Yoo Sung-nam, among others. For the synopsis, we have 1987, When the Day Comes, is a powerful South Korean political drama based on real events that led to the country's democratic uprising in June 1987. Set during the final years of the authoritarian regime of President Chun Do-hwang, the film tells the story of how one student's death sparked a national movement that ultimately changed the course of history. The film opens in January 1987 at a time when South Korea was under a repressive military dictatorship. Protesters, particularly university students, were demanding democracy, but the government responded with violent crackdowns and censorship. Amidst this tense atmosphere, a 22-year-old student activist named Park Jong-chul is arrested during an anti-government demonstration. He is taken to a police interrogation center where he is tortured in an attempt to extract names of his fellow activists. Tragically, though, he dies during the interrogation, and the authorities try to cover it up by claiming it was a heart attack. But eventually, as we all know, the truth begins to leak out. The story then shifts to the courageous individuals who risk everything to expose the regime's brutality. One of them is prosecutor Choi Hwan, who refused to authorize the cremation of Park's body without an autopsy, suspecting foul play. This decision sets off a chain reaction, sort of like a domino reaction. A brave prison guard secretly passes information to a journalist. Investigative reporters from opposition newspaper begin to dig deeper, and soon the truth about Park's death becomes public knowledge. The film doesn't focus on just one hero, but on a web of ordinary citizens, prosecutors, journalists, students, even prison guards, each playing a small but critical role in bringing the truth to light. Among them is a high school girl named Yoon-hee, whose cousin is a pro-democracy activist. Through her eyes, we see the emotional cost of resistance and how everyday people were pulled into the movement. As news of Park Jong-chul's death spreads, student protests intensify. The regime, desperate to maintain control, tries to suppress them with force. But instead of breaking the people's spirit, the government's brutality fuels more outrage. The climax of the film builds toward the massive June Democratic uprising, where millions of Koreans take to the streets demanding an end to dictatorship and the beginning of free election. By the end of the film, we learn that Park's death was not in vain. His sacrifice ignited a spark that unified the nation, and just a few months later, the government conceded to hold direct presidential elections, paving the way for South Korea's modern democracy. 1987, When the Day Comes, is not just a history lesson, it's more so a deeply emotional and inspiring reminder of the power of truth and collective action. It honors the memory of those who fought for justice, and it shows how ordinary people can come together to challenge even the most powerful systems of oppression. Through raw performances, tight pacing, and a compelling script, I think the film captures both the tragedy and the triumph of a pivotal moment in South Korea's history. Some of the main takeaways that I had from this film is that one death can spark a revolution easily. The torture and death of student activist Park Jong-chul became a symbol of state violence. His story ignited public outrage and unified people across different walks of life to demand justice and democracy. Ordinary people can make an extraordinary impact. The film highlights how prosecutors, journalists, students, prison guards, and even a high school girl each took personal risks to fight for the truth. Change didn't come from a single hero, but from collective courage of everyone. Truth is powerful, even under repression. Despite government censorship and threats, the truth about Park's death could not be silenced. Once exposed, it triggered a nationwide movement and the dictatorship could no longer control. Democracy is a hard one. South Korea's democratic freedoms today came at a high cost. The film serves as a reminder that democratic rights are not given, they're fought for through sacrifice, unity, and persistence. History must be remembered to prevent repetition. By telling this story, the film preserves the memory of those who stood up against authoritarianism. It warns us about the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of staying vigilant. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope you liked it. Have a good day.